Rimworld Console Edition is not only the definitive way to experience this colony sim, but it's the version of the game that we have all been waiting for. These simulation and strategy games, they're okay with a keyboard and mouse, but you almost need a controller for the precision that these games require. And the attention to detail, there's a lot of micromanaging that goes on. You have to constantly be aware of where your colonists are, what they're doing, issuing orders. Reminds me of the old RTSs of generations past in a lot of ways, like your Command and Conquers and your StarCrafts. There's a lot of attention that has to be given to every single order that's issued. There's a scheduling system. You can set your colonists up to follow orders at a particular priority, but there's nothing like assigning one of them to attend to a task that's cropped up. And this is just made so much easier with the flexibility that a controller offers. Additionally, these types of games work best on console because of the expandability and the accessibility that console brings to the table. All right, now you can do certain things on the PC version, and it kind of works. But on the console, you're really able to customize the game and make it your own. And this is doubly so by the developers coming out publicly stating that the console is the definitive version of the game. This is the game that they always wanted to make. It's finally on that level, and we're finally seeing a full-fledged release. They have also stated that there will be mod support coming to the consoles. You can kind of mod the PC version. I mean, you got to get down and dirty, dig around in some file systems, and download some mods from some sketchy websites and make sure that everything's in the correct boot order. Whereas on the console, it's just going to work out of the box like it always does. The interface is also significantly better. It's very busy. It's very cluttered on the PC version. One side of the entire screen dominated by your current inventory stats of any given material. It's just very messy. But the developers knew that console players wouldn't put up with such an unintuitive UI, so they redesigned it from the ground up. It's a lot more accessible, only giving you information that you directly need access to, but allowing you to personalize it. If you constantly want certain information up on the screen, you can have it. And this just goes back to the thing I want to echo throughout this entire review. I'm no stranger to this game. I have 1,500 hours in the original Rimworld. It's one of the best games ever made. I've sunk countless weeks, not just weekends, but countless weeks into the game. But this is the type of game that just feels much more at home on a console. And this is not the first game to make that transition. City Skylines or Prison Architect, Jurassic World, even Planet Coaster. All of these games started on PC, but they just feel significantly better on console. The entire premise of playing these types of games on PC is not one that gets me nor the majority of the PC gaming population very excited. We know that these types of experiences were designed first and foremost for a living room. The controls were designed first and foremost for a controller, and then they were ported over to the PC. Now, with that being said, I can also safely say that with this edition being out, there's very little reason to ever go back to the PC version. The PC version is an obsolete, outdated build at this point, and the developers have come out and said that they will actually be pursuing console development first and foremost, and it will take front and center over the PC version going forward because of all the reasons mentioned in this video. The higher graphical fidelity, the better control that you have on these types of games, the higher user base who's willing to pay more money on console. All of this combined just paints this as the perfect console experience. Using a mouse and keyboard is fine, but it's just unproductive on games that demand high rates of constantly changing your attention. You know, you got to literally put these fires out over here in Rimworld, and then you got to go deal with that invasion over there, and then you got to make sure that your colonists are getting medical attention. And again, you can do this on a keyboard and mouse, but it's just significantly easier with the use of a controller. You have 2 analog sticks, bumper buttons that make cycling through the character characters a breeze. You have the ability to highlight certain aspects of the UI that you want constantly on display. And let's not forget the big thing here, people. You get one of the DLCs free with this edition of the game, clearly showing the love to the console audience that the PC user base simply has not got. So it's clear where the developers' intentions lie. This will be first and foremost a PS4, PS5, Series X, Xbox One priority going forward. It's just that simple. If you own the PC version, I highly suggest double dipping because this game is worth it and you will be playing it in its intended form on the console. Put another way, it's safe to say that the PC players up until this point have been beta testing the product and it's now ready for release on the more stable and the more numerous, the more populated platforms. And that's exactly what the roadmap has always been for Rimworld. So again, fantastic game. Much better played with a controller. The console port is a 10 out of 10. The PC version is roughly a 5 out of 10 due to the limitations and the cumbersome controls. But this is an absolute win in my book, and it's a must-buy. Easily going to be in contention for Game of the Year. So again, I have to recommend you pick this one up. It is so worth it.